Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 213. I'm Clint, aka JCM. This is week is Isley
Yo.
and Messiah.
Hello. But I'm gonna
Did
okay,
it not
hang on.
pick it up again?
Yes, continue,
Why
I'm gonna yell at Discord.
but in a very high-pitched voice, so it won't know.
Last week we talked about the whole Microsoft situation. One of the Fallout bits of that was Romero Games having their game essentially canceled, their unannounced project that was being published by Microsoft. It wasn't officially said that it was, but he alluded to the fact that that's why it was canceled, is because Microsoft pulled out. But they did say that there are apparently they've been contacted by quote several publishers who are interested in picking up the unannounced project. So hopefully that means that whatever Romero Games is working on will get picked up by someone. Like I'm curious if it was Sony or who knows, some hopefully Epic Games or something. We'll see. But it's good at least one because they're not like directly related to Microsoft. But that's gotta suck to be like, well, we had a deal to make a game and now all the money we had for it's gone. So hopefully that gets picked up. That'd be nice. And then I saw this funny bit where there's this person who called Two Bricks. He's this guy who makes specializes in custom Lego builds, and he created a video showing how to make that Porsche design ship from Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, the new Naughty Dog game. And Neil
Oh, I saw
Druckmann,
that.
yeah, he liked it so much that he got one. So yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Damn, do I need to check this out? I didn't see that. That sounds awesome.
It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, two bricks is the name. That should be the name on YouTube as well. The number two and then bricks. But yeah, looks really cool. And then moving on. So Fallout Season 2 we know is in the works right now, and I saw an article saying that apparently the creative director for Fallout 76 has plans to do some tie-ins with the show. And I was like, yeah, I was wondering, like, when Cyberpunk Edge Runners came out, they added some additional content to Cyberpunk 2077 where you get that drink that was named after David, and there's some other stuff you can find in there, references to the characters and whatnot, which I
Didn't
thought
they
was
add like one of the chips that David uses or something? Didn't they add that into the game too?
I don't know if they added like the same Devastan or anything, but which was the augmentation, but I think after the show, they did add cyber psychosis as a thing in there now, to where you can overdo
Yeah,
it with
that's
your
what I was thinking
augmentations.
of. Yeah.
And but yeah, for the Fallout 76, I'm curious what they would do. I guess you could just have like perhaps lore references to the show and not necessarily stuff that's going on, because
They could
Fallout 76.
they could add the vault, I guess. Like that specific vault.
I mean, I don't know how they do that because they're in Virginia. The show takes place on the West Coast, so
Are they
like
making it canon though, or are they just like adding something in for fun? Because like is the show actually considered canon to the games? I can't remember.
I think it's supposed to be considered canon. Like Todd has said that. Let me Google it. But is the Fallout
I was
show
just thinking like
canon?
because
Yes.
you could add the okay, well then you can't add the vaults.
Let's see. Canon Fallout Universe. Bethesda's Todd Howard has confirmed that the events of the show are viewed as canon. So the events. So you could always have like maybe the characters aren't the same, but the events are the same. Because that was like a big thing when they talked about, there's always speculation on who dropped the bombs, and that was one of the big things. Like, oh, well, they're saying that Vaultec did it. That's kind of a big deal for the lore and the history.
Though to be fair, that was always pretty obvious if you actually played the games.
But it was never confirmed.
Right.
Everybody's like, there's still some questions about who exactly. If it was the other countries sneak stuff in, if they had a mole, yada yada. But but yeah, so I'm curious. Like I said, yeah, I'm curious what they do because in the lore, Fallout 76 is the first vault that opens. So it's number one. That's why everything in that game there was no people. Like the lore reason for that, there's no humans because you're the first one that came up, and there's just all the ghouls and leftover robots, and no human settlements. And then eventually, people in other areas came in later. I think they called it like the settlements update or something like that, where they actually came by and humans came back to the area where Fallout 76 takes place and started setting up shops and whatnot. So it'd be, and I don't know if they've had any like time jumps with any of the deal, like content they've done for that game. I think it's still whatever year it was when they opened. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Could be something. Then I saw a game that was announced called Shark Dentist, which I thought was really funny. Are you familiar with that game? It's where there's like an alligator. and you push its teeth down, and the toy, it's a toy.
What?
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
alligator toy. It's from the 90s, and you push the teeth down, and one of the teeth will make the alligator close its mouth and chomp your. I think Jackass might have put like razor blades in one of them one time or something like that.
Of course they
Um,
did.
alligator
That's
mouth
like
game.
classic 90s kid game.
Yeah, crocodile teeth. This thing. I'll put it in chat.
Yeah, crocodile teeth, obviously.
Oh, that's not the. That won't show it. But
Isley didn't have a childhood. He just emerged fully formed one day and was like, I exist now.
That is
that's not
actually
copying
how
the
it went
image.
down. That's
Uh,
basically exactly how it went down.
It's not. It's not pacing. It just keeps pacing to the thing. There we go. That game. But anyways, it's like it's essentially that, but in video game form. Because like you have this
Oh,
giant.
okay. I know what that is.
Yeah, you have this giant shark, and it's got like I don't know, its mouth hoisted open, and you're just cleaning its teeth. And it's like, oh, there's a bunch of gunk on this one. You have to like grind it with uh, a tool. This one's got this. You got to do whatever. And then it's like, oh, if you slip in the clip, they show like they're grinding away on the tooth, the grinder, and they slip, and it goes into the flesh of the shark, and the shark like wakes up from its anesthesia, and then like chomps down and eats the dentist. So I'm like, okay, this seems like a really silly game where you're trying to clean the teeth of a shark, and they got so many teeth though, and they generate them forever. Why are you cleaning them? Just let them fall out and they get more. But silly looking game. It was like super high end looking visuals as well. uh but yeah, it's we'll see how that goes. It could be like a silly stream game or something. And speaking of interesting game, there's a Resident Evil Survival Unit, which is apparently a strategy game spin-off for smartphones that's coming up for RE. It's like a parallel universe where you have a squad of characters, like all the fan favorites, of course, Leon, Jill, Barry Burton's in there, and you take on zombies and monsters. I wish there was like there might I don't know if there was a trailer to show it, but I was like, I want to know what this looks like. It's like a real-time defense game with single player and stuff. And I'm like, okay, curious how like they're interesting that they're branching out and having like some weird wacko mobile game. But yeah, I'm curious to see more of it. Because hey, maybe it could be fun. Who knows? And then there is another game that's been out for a bit, which I thought was funny. It's called Umu Musume Pretty Derby.
Not the horse girls.
Yeah, so Isley, Northernlion
I
has
was
been
like,
playing
I
it.
don't like. I already don't like how this is going.
Northernlion started playing it a while ago, and he was like the main person on the Twitch channel who was playing it. But then everybody else started playing it. But so in the long story short, like the anime girls in the game are based off of real horses in Japan, and so like there's this one horse, who like 20 years ago never won. Like the
Is this
horse
the game
lost.
or real life we're talking about?
This is real life. In real life, this horse, like the anime character, the anime girl that this horse is
Okay.
based on, is a real horse. Like they're all named after the horses, and the horse never won a race ever in like how many games it ran. It was 113 races, never won between 1998 to 2004. But like everybody loved the horse because it became like this Japanese phenomenon. Like they would bet on the horse even though they knew the horse would lose. The horse would get like second, sometimes third, but like always lost. But like they praised the horse for like its enduring spirit to never give up even though it never won.
It's enduring spirit.
But like I guess because the horse has a like social media run account by a fan, like because people love this horse, the horse is still alive. Like suddenly the social media account for this horse like blew up because everybody's like starts following because they started playing this game and want to know more about this horse that's never won ever. But yeah, it was just a really funny story. I'm trying to see here because there was like the way they treat it. Oh, man, I wish I can find. They have like a word for it. Oh, okay. Let's see. With fans traveling, okay. Even the betting slips with her name on are being used as charms to ward off against traffic accidents. The word ataranai or didn't win being stamped on losing betting slips is a homonym for not being hit by a car. So like people would get betting slips for this horse and then just keep it up like it would ward off evil spirits, essentially, just not being hit by cars. I thought it was just Haru Uraura was the name of the horse. And yeah, the horse is still around. It's like super famous horse in Japan that's suddenly getting like this second win because people are playing this anime horse racing game in the West.
That is such a Japanese thing to me, like, this horse never wins, we're just gonna keep it around because it's very cute and everybody loves that it keeps trying, so Ganbatte, Uma-san.
Yeah. Because in '04, Junichiro Koizumi, the Japanese prime minister at the time, praised uh, the horse, saying, "I believe that Haru Urara's attitude of not giving up despite being beaten race after race is one that is
Of
clearly
not
an
giving
inspiration
up.
for us all." And then, yeah, there's like a Haru boom apparently because they were in a commercial for something in like 2018 or whatever. Uh, but yeah, I love this bit. In 2018, Haru Urara became a local celebrity again when she was featured on Chiba police traffic safety posters, getting paid 600 kilograms worth of carrots. It's just so funny. But yeah, this horse, it was weird. I just thought it was a funny thing because this real horse is now getting a bunch of, not that the horse knows it's getting social media love, but I thought it was funny. And then moving on, so Claire Obscura, obviously big hit, turn based. Even though you're kind of active during the turns and whatnot, can't really plan too much. But they had asked Yoshida, director producer of FF14 and 16, of course, about whether or not this would influence future Final Fantasy games. And he said, with the question of turn based versus action, it tends to isolate the gameplay to just the battle system. It doesn't take into account what kind of game the creators want to deliver to players. For example, based on a certain graphical quality we want to present to our players or the narrative we want to deliver to our players, it relates to how we set up the game systems around it. This includes the battle system, game design, and gameplay feel. It's not a clear cut answer whether it will become all turn based or it's going to become more action focused. So basically, just saying like, I can't say whether or not we're suddenly going to start doing turn based in Final Fantasy again because Clair
Mhm.
Obscur was such a huge hit. But he's like, but it's such an important integral part of the design that who knows, if whether or not we do it. So I'll be really, I feel like they've got to have the next one probably already in pre-production. So I don't think they'd shift gears immediately, but
It's a
who knows?
very he's very good at giving answers that are like, if you've seen live letters or if you've known him very long, it's very like, yeah, he wants to, but he's not allowed to say it because if he says that and his position in Square Enix, it's going to cause a kerfuffle. So he's like saying very much like, oh, it depends on who's making it, and basically saying that if I made it, yeah, it absolutely would be because it's very
Yeah.
fun and I like it.
No.
It's also like it's pretty hard for them not to at least learn something from Clair Obscur because so many people have compared that game to Final Fantasy directly
Hmm.
that it's like you can't just ignore how successful it was when all of your games recently have not been that successful. Not bad, just like, their games recently have not been hitting the same way Clair Obscur did.
Yeah, 16. I mean, 16 did really well. Trying to think like, because the problem you run into whenever something like this happens, where it's like, hey, we were turn based, and then we do something fresh. Where it's like, okay, with 15, we're going to change it. It's like that could bring in new fans. We see it like Assassin's Creed, where it's like, okay, we're going to change from our normal formula with Origins, go more open world. We're going to change it up, do more RPG elements, and that's kind of what they've been doing. And they did Mirage to kind of kick it back to how they used to do it, which didn't do numbers, but he did bring in some people who never played the original or didn't play much of the original Assassin's Creeds because of the way they were. So I'm wondering if it's like, okay, do you go back? But then if everybody starts doing it, then does it become like, okay, someone needs to do something different? Like I feel like Clear Obscure stands out because it did really well, but because it was the one. Now, if everybody does it suddenly become like, all right, now one of you needs to do something different to stand out?
Yeah, I mean they can't. As soon as other companies start picking it up, everyone will think it's tried and true and it's been done too much and old. But I do think that where Clair Obscur kind of succeeded, where Final Fantasy hasn't, is that frankly, like the combat was fun again and it was interactive. And I think that a lot of Final Fantasy's combat, Rebirth or like the 7 remake, I actually don't hate the combat of, but even 16, I don't think the combat was great in that game.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a lot, obviously, back when 16 was out. But I'm wondering if they could, if they did it turn, if they would do something similar to the dodge, parry, jump kind of mechanics, or make it a little more involved. Like do their own kind of refresh because Clair Obscur definitely felt like a. Now, obviously, that wasn't unique. Other games have done that. Other Final Fantasy games as well, not mainline ones. But so it's not like it's a fresh idea. It's bringing back something that has been around. But I'm curious, like what they could do, like tweak some of those systems to make it like, or like I'm curious, like how hard would it be to design? I mean, they essentially in the FF remake, they have that option where like time stops or whatever, where it's like you change the ATB for the in your settings, and you can make it like, okay, I'll actively choose Tifa does this. Okay, now I'll be over here and it's like it's just like frozen, like time stopped, and you're picking the stuff they do, and they do it. So I'm wondering if like there's some better way to even more hybridize that kind of combat while having the other option there for people who kind of want that more active bits to it. I kind of wish they had like if you're gonna have it active, and we've talked about this as well. I wish they would bring back that gambit system from 12 so I can more
Mhm.
customize and be like, okay, it's active, but I'm like still controlling what everybody does. Like, okay, I want you to always do this at X% or what, or if this, then this, a bunch of if then statements, and or gates, all that stuff. I
The
feel like that could be
honestly,
fun.
like the 12 gambit system was way underrated, and that system was brilliant for turn-based combat. I think that the reason people liked Clair Obscur is that the turn-based combat was different and fun. And you're right, like they can't do the same thing, but I do wish Final Fantasy would go back to doing something like that, where the combat is just like actually unique and interesting, like innovate in some way while still keeping to your roots.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like they get stuck in kind of like I don't know, maybe like a catch-22 thing where it's like Final Fantasy is known for a specific type of turn-based, like the active turn battle system and everything like that. Being able to customize that or queue up actions like they did in it was 13. Yeah, it was 13, where you could like queue up actions. And if something went sideways very quickly, you could back out of that and adjust to it. So it was a little bit more active, but it was still like ATB based, not necessarily turn based, but just like timing based, I guess. But you look at things like, I mean, Clair Obscur is in the zeitgeist right now because it's good and it is like a huge commercial success and it's everybody's talking about it. But it's not like the first turn-based game in recent memory that's been good. Like there's lots of turn-based games that come out that play on other types of systems, like either the Final Fantasy system or the Chrono Trigger system. I think Sea of Stars was like the biggest thing for the turn-based community because it played on not only it played on the Chrono Trigger base system where you can like do combos and stuff like that, but it also made it very accessible and adaptable because you could freely swap your characters in and out. And that was something that I really wish I could have done in Clair Obscur because I think it would have added such a intriguing additional layer to the story or to the combat and the mechanics and the way that you go about planning and everything like that. Just being able to freely swap out your characters. So like Square Enix with Final Fantasy is like, okay, well, if we go more active, what direction do we go in? Because now people are going to be comparing it to these other systems that we've never really had before and saying like, "Oh, it's great, but it's not Final Fantasy. It's Chrono Trigger, it's Eve Stars, it's Clair Obscur." It's like I think they feel a little bit stuck sometimes, so that's why they go the more action route. It's like, let's just get rid of the turn base and just pull in the people that want the action combat completely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm curious, like, too, how much of it is from management? Like, the number of people who aren't necessarily don't have that passion or love for the game where it's like, "Oh, we need to do." I mean, we've seen so much where Square is like, "Oh, Tomb Raider didn't do as well as we wanted," or "These games didn't do as well as we wanted," when they sold, like, 4,000,000 copies. It's like, "It's not enough, it's not enough." So I'm wondering if it's like, we can't
Mhm.
do stuff back in the day. We have to innovate or die. Like, if there's any of that mentality, it's like kill the past, kind of stuff where it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, how many of those people higher up were former creatives, like that probably doesn't happen too much.
Yeah, exactly. And you get that thing of like you pulled in all of these new fans to the series with the action-oriented combat games. It's like if you go back to turn-based, it's going to make a lot of people very happy, but you're probably going to lose those people who came in just for the action-based combat. And it's like there's going to be, I mean, there's people like me who are like, I'll play a Final Fantasy regardless. I don't give a shit. Like
Hmm.
it's fine. I'm in it for the world building and the story, and the combat is almost secondary to it because if the combat was so important to me, I wouldn't have played 15 and 16 because I am very much a menu girly and I love my menus and I like being able to plan and strategize and like take a moment to assess the situation. So like for me, when I'm playing the 7 remake, I very much do that new system they have where it's like it kind of slows things down and they kind of do like the auto attack kind of thing. And it frees me up to, I'm like constantly switching between them and checking their like stats and what they've built up. What can I combo with people? What can I do with like the ATB bars and stuff like that? So it's like it's active, but I still have my menuing type of thing. But if that was like the big thing to me, I wouldn't have played the action ones, which would be very sad because 15 and 16 are like very high up on my favorite Final Fantasy list just because of the story and the world building and just the everything of it I love very much.
Hmm.
So it's like if you brought those people in for the action combat, but you go back to the turn base, now you've lost those people because they're only in it for the gameplay mechanic, the action component of it. And like, oh, well, your last game sold so well, and you brought in the Devil May Cry like combat technician and everything like that, and then
Hmm.
now you're going back to turn based, and people are gonna rip on it. It's like that's not. There's more to the game than that, but I get it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a shame you can't like how hard would it be? Because it's got to be if you did it, we're like, okay, you can play totally active, or we can make it into turn based. Like obviously that would change the entire flow of a fight, and then you really have
Mhm.
to like tool it to, especially boss fights. Be like, okay, well if they're active, then the player could slip up by not doing healing in time or doing this. It's like okay, now we're gonna make it turn based. It's like now we got to totally rework it, and yet when does the boss do its special move? This and that. So it's got to be like you can't do that. It would be I wish I can think of any game where it's got, like, 2 outside of just the way they did it in the remake, like, a game that has just 2 entirely different mechanics. It's like when you have the first games that came out that let you play in first or third person. It's like, but on a mechanics level. And I know there's something, I just and not maybe to this degree of turn versus active, but where it's like, "Oh, you can have the mechanic done this way, or you can have it done the other way." We see it with controls, like, "Oh, you can have classic tank controls on this remake of a or a Resident Evil game, or you can play with the new updated controls. We see it in other aspects, the old UI or the new UI.
Mhm.
Not not always mechanically though. And I wish I could think off the top of my head what some examples are, but that just means they're so few and far between that none of them stand out, or they might not be games I even play. Like maybe
Yeah.
genres that work better, but
I think there's this disparity too between like the action and the turn-based because like you can hybridize that, but your turn-based is still a little bit actiony. It still requires attention and input, and you don't have that like with Clair Obscur specifically, you're looking at like the turn order and you're looking at like what your characters, what order they're going in. Like, can you set that up ahead of time? Kind of thing, but you're also have that moment of like the battle just stops for a moment and you can kind of for as long as you want, you can stare at the screen and think like, okay, I know that the enemy is going to do a specific attack in 3 turns. What do I have available to not die from that kind of thing? So it's like even in 7 remake, you don't have that. The battle is always constantly going even if you have the like menu slowdown or anything like that. Like you physically have to pause it and think like, am I gonna have enough time to execute what I'm planning before the enemy that I'm fighting zips across the arena or starts purging an attack or just like as soon as I do my input is the character that I'm planning with just going to die because I'm not seeing something and they're just going to get attacked really quickly. So it's like you can't really have that switch because yeah, you're right. It just completely changes the way that the battle has to progress and the mechanics have to be done because it's like you can't have action and turn base. You have to have a hybrid of them and just like kind of be able to shift one way or the other.
yeah, yeah, it's got to be a tough situation. It's like you can't please all the people all the time. And last night, all those people were at my show, but it's just yeah, it's I mean, because I keep thinking about, like, Assassin's Creed, Mirage, where it's like people there's those old school fans who weren't the biggest fan of the open world nature of the new Assassin's Creed games. It's like, well, it still
Mhm.
didn't do well, and it's like,
It's
yeah,
the
I
same
don't
thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's rough, but
Me personally, I would like every game to be like Fantasian turn-based. That is my holy grail of turn-based combat. Like you got a turn order, you can swap your characters, You can build them all differently so that when the big bad attack is coming, you can just swap in all of your tank characters and survive. And that's my like, I want every game to be that, but that's
Yeah,
just me.
I think there's oh, that's what I was thinking of. Like Pillars of Eternity is a game that has like real time with pause, but it does have like a turn-based mode coming as well. So like they kind of do it there. It's like, okay, that's like a, a Diablo game style action, but you could still, if you want, do it like, okay, well, let's pause the action and make it a little more turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
And you can turn it on and off. It's like, okay, in that kind of game, it makes sense like you could do it because that's what that is from the start, top down, well, isometric style game. But yeah, it'd be tough to do in a bigger title. But we'll see what they do. Maybe they'll just if they remake something else, or maybe they'll just be like, oh no, we're doing all the, you know, not necessarily full on remakes, but like just the tiny little remasters like they're doing with Tactics, and they're like, okay, those are good enough. We'll just do those, and our mainline will just keep on keeping on with what we're doing. But
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, other than that, that was I said pretty much it. There's a lot of drama going on with Krafton and Unknown Worlds, but it's still in process right now to really like cover everything versus like the outed. We talked about the leadership being ousted, but now they're filing a lawsuit saying that they delayed the game so they didn't have to pay out some bonuses by the end of the year. And
God,
then
it's such a fucked up lawsuit, everything that's going on.
and then
It's
yeah.
insane, and I had no idea it was that bad, and then I saw that one article, and I went down a rabbit hole. I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
Yeah, and then Krafton did a statement, and then they announced the early access in 2026. But then, like the guy who facilitated the acquisition, who was with Unknown Worlds for a couple years or whatever, or maybe not with the, I forget, but he facilitated the acquisition. So, like, he chimed in. He's like, "Well, I can't fully comment on a bunch of stuff because of the litigation going on, but here's my thoughts and everything." So it's like, okay, maybe it's things are a little gray. Like, I feel like in these situations, like, there's always like it's easy to side with the dev. Not saying that Krafton is in the right at all. But like typically it's you side with the developers. Like, okay, well they must have, good reason or something going on, and it's just you have the number of people at top at the publisher being like, now we're gonna do this. And it's like, okay, what's going on here? So it's too much going on right now to to really want to cover all the bits of it. But I'm just like, man, I just wanted to play Subnautica too.
I know. It's just so sad.
Yeah.
It feels like there's way more to the story though than we're being told, because it seems like if they really just delayed it to avoid paying out the bonus, that seems like it would be really easy to prove. Like, we're delaying it and laying off these people to avoid paying $250 million. It's one of those, like, it could be believable. It maybe they are that, nefarious and stuff, but also you really had no sort of like, I don't know, there was no sort of safeguard against exactly this scenario happening.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? It's a rough spot. I feel bad for the devs that are still there who are like, you got to keep trucking along while everything else is, going on. Got to be a weird spot.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like for the devs and the players, like you said, you're like, I just want to play Subnautica. And I imagine the devs are just like, we just want to make Subnautica. Why you gotta do this? It's very awkward and makes me feel really bad for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's rough spot, but I'm sure we'll get more information. And who knows how long litigation is going to take, but we'll see. Well, maybe we'll be talking about it in like a couple months or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news. I said not a whole lot. Kind of quiet time right now. Go ahead and jump into what we've been playing. Izzy, what have you been playing?
Not to move on to the exact same subject, but I've been playing Subnautica. So,
I figured.
yeah.
I was gonna segue to you playing it, but I wasn't sure if you were still playing it or if you moved on, so I didn't
No,
want to make the segue, and it turned out you didn't.
I'm still playing Subnautica, and it does make this whole scenario like unfortunately weird, because I'm just like, oh, Subnautica is such a good game. I really want the next one so badly.
Yeah. So
It's just unfortunate.
you do anything special on this run, or just playing straight up?
No, I'm just playing straight up, doing survival, and then trying out the new building, like the base components that they added from Below Zero, which uh, just have made the base building a lot more enjoyable in the first game. Not that it was bad, but pretty much, I think that first time I played the game, I can't remember why, but I feel like either you and I were talking about it as I was playing it, So I feel like I knew certain story beats or knew where certain pods were because you and I were talking about it. This time around, I'm just playing blind, and I've apparently forgotten everything. So it's just been enjoyable replaying.
So say we change the colors, you could truly
It's a good
play it
game.
blind. But
It's good.
yeah, that's the one thing I always hate about replaying the game. Like someone was talking about, like I saw a post like Subnautica started getting recommended, subreddit started getting recommended to me because of the drama. But then someone was like, "Hey, what's your least favorite biome in the first game?" And like showing all the people talking about that and whatnot. And it's like the one thing I always hate about replaying the game is like I know roughly where. All right, I know where the sea glide or the oh man, the sea moth is, roughly where all the components are, where I can find all the Cyclops components. And it bugs me because I'm always like, I get like 2/3 of the way there, and I'm like trying to find a piece. And then when I finally get it, it's like now I'm finding freaking pieces of it all over the damn place. And it's like in GTA when you get that rare sports car, and then because you got it, it suddenly shows up in the randomizer pool for the pedestrians, and now everyone's driving that sports car. And it's like, damn it, I took forever to find the damn Cyclops, and now here's the Cyclops pieces all right over here. I'm like, motherfucker. You weren't there before. You spawned in after just to spite me.
It does do that, which is somewhat annoying in the game. It definitely does do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing Subnautica, and then I'm still playing Balatro. I'll like pick it up
Nice.
and play a hand or two or Balatro before bed, and then the urge to like progress in Balatro has kind of died down. So now it's a bit more of a simple approach, if you will.
Boo.
It's a good game. I like it.
It is a good game. Very
It's
You can
solid.
approve.
Yeah. Zaya, we played Peak last night, but have you played anything else outside of I thought just usual stuff?
Well, since we finished Death Stranding 2, I'm allowed to use the PlayStation again. So
Nice.
Oh,
I've been playing.
perfect.
I went back to I've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds because they had the second title update. Unfortunately, like 2 days after Death Stranding came out, so I've had to wait. But in a stupid twist of fate, I played for like a few hours one day. I just went into it. I unlocked the 2 new hunts, and I did like kind of the side stuff and the collab thing that they added. And then I went to log on the next day and my PS Plus ran out. And I was like, why does this
Uh-oh.
keep happening to me? Why am I so adverse to keeping track of this compared to everything else? So I was like, forget it. I don't want to deal with it right now. I'll just play offline with the NPC hunters, which is fine. They're fine. They're a lot better than they were in the beta. And they even added a new one who so they all have like their signature weapons or whatever, and they never switch weapons. So they just have like there's a hammer, there's a lance, there's a heavy bow gun. But they just added a one that does sword and shield, and she's awesome. And I've set it so that there's only me and one other NPC hunter, which means to fill out the rest of the 4 party, they have the palicos come out, the little cats. So it's my palico and the new hunter's palico's named B, and that's awesome. So now I have like my little team that I go out with. And it's been fine. I had trouble with one hunt. Fuck Seregios. I hate him. Stop being in the air. Come down and fight me, you stupid asshole. But it's just like I don't play for as long because usually what I would do is I would hunt one specific thing for like a while, just getting used to it or trying to collect specific materials and stuff like that. And then when I got bored of doing that, I would usually just hop on it's like a party finder. It's called the SOS flare
Hmm.
quests where if people are out on a hunt, they can send up a flare and it shows it for everybody and you can go hunt with that person. And so what I really liked doing is I would just hop on the finder, see what flares are up and be like, oh, I need something from that. Or I really like fighting that thing. And I would just go and fight. So it's like, I don't have that now. I just have to I have to actively pick what to go hunt.
Hmm.
And it just kind of like kills it a little bit for me because it's like, I do need things from other monsters, but I also need a lot of things from Seregios and Lagaricus. And I'm tired of fighting them right now. So I have to pick it requires a level of brain activity that I didn't have to have before, where I could just like go on and help other people. So I'm gonna have to re-up my PS Plus to play that. But other than that, nothing really new. There's a new collab event in Star Rail that I don't care about because it's with a game that or an anime that I don't care about. But apparently there's like actual lore in the collab event, which is annoying, so I have to do that. and then just been playing Ragnarok in my off time, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we played Peak. Tried that last night. It was fun. We got really close to the end on that second run. I didn't even realize what time it was. It was like after
I know
midnight.
it went really long, we got really far, and then it became impossible, and then I fell into the lava and died.
Yeah, I think like it's it definitely feels like at the end that like you need well because the stuff is randomized. It was like you gotta hope someone has you have at least the two backpacks for food because that was like a big issue, and then tools. Uh, like definitely because the tools came in helpful like the chain rope, the regular rope. No, I did I used my baton earlier in the run, but like
Mhm.
yeah, I'm curious, like, if you have more people, does it spawn more stuff? Or is it still, like, limited? Because, like, okay, well, you could play the game with just yourself, I believe. I don't know if you can beat it, but I know you can play alone. So I wouldn't see why they would you wouldn't have it doesn't like it's not like it's more challenging with more people. It's just more people can now carry more things. Uh,
Mhm. I don't
but
think it affects the spawn of things because I think it's all set in the generation of the level.
that's true.
Because when
Yeah,
we were
probably.
playing, it didn't randomly generate suitcases. They were all in the same places. So it's like I think it just randomly generates what's in the suitcase, possibly. But I don't think it matters if you're playing solo or with multiple people because the max is 4 anyway. So we were only down one person. I don't think it would have affected it that much.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was I mean, it was fun. Like, I'm curious, like, I was wondering if it would have it be a little more cooperative. Like, obviously, it has that there was that
I
bit
thought
at the
the
end where
whole point of the game is it's cooperative.
well, you can play it solo. Like, it there's not, like, a split fiction, it takes two situation where it's like, "Okay, I need you to help me," or, like, a chain together. Like, I'll jump, you pull
Right.
me up. Like,
Interesting.
it's
That's
you
kind of
can
what I assumed would be in it, is exactly what you're describing.
now, but there is like there are mechanics that can make it be required. Like if you have a backpack, you can carry more stuff, but now you have much more weight, so you don't have so much stamina. So and there's a mechanic in the game where like you can reach out your hand and help someone climb up. So it's like, okay, you climb up, your stamina's drained, now you can hit like shift, do like a quick like oof, like a little boost, like kick yourself up. And if someone's standing there on the edge of like the thing, they can reach you pretty far away too. Like it's a pretty generous grab distance. So there was a bit on the end where Michael had like he had some extra food. I had no food, so my character was like super starving. And as your hunger meter grows, it eats away at your stamina bar. And so I like didn't have that much stamina. So there were sections where like, okay, he goes first, then he has to turn around and I have to use the little bit I have to jump, grab, and climb as quickly as I can. And then he has to help me up because there's no way I'd make it on my own. So there is cooperative natures in that, and like there were parts where like Zaya had a backpack with a lot of stuff in it, and then we would help like Zaya get up because maybe Zaya's stamina would run out because of the extra weight, and you couldn't get up there, or the other factors that also eat away at your stamina. Where it's like, oh, maybe you could have made it, but you were hungry, or you were cold, or you were injured, so your injuries take up your stamina bar. Like, there's all these little things that can make it require more stuff, but it's like outside of those little bits that can happen, you can essentially do it one on, just yourself, especially early on in those first couple biomes. But I didn't realize it was timed as well. Like you had to beat the fog. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, that's interesting. You got the whole
It's not
battle
like
royale.
a completely harsh timeline, but it does make it so that if you get up to I had one point where I fell and I fell into the fog and was like, "There's no way I'm getting out of this now. Goodbye."
Yeah, yeah. There's they're like, "Whoop," and you're like, I'm gone. Or like, there's one bit where like you fell, or I blew you up, but
Uh-huh.
your body was still there. But I guess you got launched, but on my screen, like you just fell, like you just were right there still, or like
Just fell over.
it was
Saya
the
getting
poison
blown
thing.
up by
Yeah.
her co-op partners.
Well,
Classic.
I didn't know that the one like the hitboxes, and I don't know if it's like the FOV or what, but like I feel like the character hitboxes are huge. Because sometimes I'll think like, oh, will squeak by like the urchin things or like a plant or something, and we'll be fine. Michael goes through, I go through, nothing happens. But then other times I feel like I'm the same distance away, and then it's like, oh, I trigger the thing, and I'm like, why? It's like I feel like I should have been far enough away. It's like, I don't know, they got like these not generous pixels on the ends of the arms and legs or something, or the character's doing the splits and I don't know it because it's first person, and that's why I'm hitting these. these damn plants.
The characters are very wobbly, so it is entirely possible that you're walking straight, but your character's just kind of wibble wobbling, and they probably wibble
Mhm.
wobbled into the thing. No, the thing it exploded and it was like it did. I took damage, and then like the poison bar just kept filling up, and I went, "Oh, there goes all my stamina. Oh, I'm dead now. Pass
Yeah.
out."
Yeah, I like it when you had the lollipop and you're like, "Up, I'm going. I got EP. I got EP," and you're like, "Up, up, bye
I
bye."
made it up, and then I got the sleepy bar, and I went, "Oh, that's it for me. Goodbye."
Yeah, and you just, like, here you go. I'm like, all right. But yeah, that it does, and I like that they do that graph at the end too. That's kind of fun, and it shows like the elevation change, so you can see like, oh, we were going up, but then we realized, oh, this isn't the right way. We have to go back down to go around to another side or something.
Mhm.
No, that is fun. I feel like it would be fun with like a group of like six, towards like it's like, oh, let's just split up. You're like, okay, we'll try going this way because I'm sure there are multiple ways to get up in certain biomes as well. It's like you don't have to go the one. There are some where it feels like, okay, we definitely can't. Or like you found that little spot where we could squish through the rocks to get in, where it's like it
Mhm.
in a normal video game is like that wouldn't work, but in this is like, not you can squeeze if your whiskers can get through, you can get through. Um,
Exactly.
but and then the ghosts when people die to Michael's face, that's a funny mechanic. Uh, the proxy in games with proxy chat are just so fun. And we should gotta play Repo. There's no spiders in there, right?
In
Um,
repo,
no,
I
not
don't
that
think
I've
so.
seen.
We gotta play Repo. I feel like that'd be a fun because that is the one thing I'm just like I enjoyed it, but it definitely feels like it would be more fun with more people. But
Mhm.
because you're just climbing up, kinda helping out, like, there's not like, with repo, you can kinda, like, break off and you, like, look for stuff, and you're like, "Oh, shit, I damaged my stuff." Like, it's a little more you got more going on, for the goal, and everybody can, like, go their own ways or just, like, very much stay together, kinda figure stuff out. But, I mean, it's still fun. But I was like, yeah, they're, like, not having that extra, like, "Oh, I'll" or we did have that one bit where I was like, I threw the rope up to Michael so he could drop it down for me. Like, there is some cooperation there, but, it was kinda like desperate times, and then we just happened to have the rope. But yeah, it's still a fun game. But yeah, it would be fun with a I'd be curious how many there's over like 10 randomized or 10 levels layouts, right? I think because like it changes every week. I wish it didn't take
I
so
have
long to
no
change.
idea. It changes every day. So, but
Every
I don't know
day?
how many they have
Oh.
to cycle through, and I think they've already added a couple from when it very first launched. So they're probably gonna keep adding them and just cycle through them at random.
Yeah, okay, if it is every day, that's good. I was under the impression it was every week. I was like, which is crazy. But if it's every day, that's pretty dope. Because then it could be like, okay, now it's always a different map. Yeah, you play the same one so that you can play a couple times, kind of know like that helped us get as far as we did. Not only because Uh, I got a little better at what I was doing outside the time I blew up on the orange plants, but, like, at least I was like, "Okay, I got more of the mechanics down, I can kinda just, like" and because we went this way, I don't have to wait for Michael to find the path, I was kinda, like, following the leader that first go
Mhm.
around. But yeah, now if it changes, that'd be a lot more, fun to be like, "Okay, we got a new spot, you know the mechanics, but now it's like, okay, we gotta just figure out where we gotta go." But fun looking. You should have been there, Isli.
That's fun. They're wiggly.
I was celebrating and drinking and saw that message this morning and was like, who am I kidding? I wouldn't have been able to function in that game. You guys would have been like
Oh,
pushing
that
me
would've been
off the
great.
platform and been like,
Drunk Isli, you
I
could put
would
on the
have been,
drunk face in your character.
oh my God, I would have been sacrificed to everything. It would have been a mess.
There
That would've
is
been fun.
a fun mechanic where if somebody passes out and they haven't died, you can pick them up and put them on your back,
Mhm.
but it's very heavy. Um, I would have carried Isley. I would sacrifice being Pong to carry Isley.
Yeah. Yeah, when I fell, it's like, "Oh, pick up Zaya?" I was like, "Sure," but then I
Eh.
died immediately, of course,
Yeah, you
'cause
were
we were in
holding
the
me in the
lava.
lava. I was just like,
Yeah,
all right, that's fine. I appreciate the gesture.
yeah. Yeah, other than that, I did play, some more Death Stranding. I am now past I think on chapter 8. I did the 2nd boss fight encounter with, the new character, the Mads the Mads Mikkelsen type character. I like that boss fight. I thought it was fun. Uh, just bringing in some IRL, real world mechanics into the arena, I thought was really cool. I always love a game too where like you wonder if you can shoot something, but it doesn't highlight the reticle, but you try it anyways and it works. And I love when they kind of like because you're so used to like games like, oh, if this barrel can blow up, the reticle turns red. If you can highlight this, it turns red. And it's like, I wonder if I can shoot this. Like, the reticle's not changing color. I'm like, I'm gonna try it anyways. And like, sure enough, that's how I take care of this. So I thought that was a lot of fun. Plus, the low gravity nature of that arena was really fun. It was so, it felt so Metal Gear Solid 5 going through that area, the first bit before you get to the fight arena. I'm like, this is the opening chapter of Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, that's all
That's
this is.
exactly what Michael said too. He's like, "This is just Phantom Pain." I went,
Yeah.
"Yeah, kinda."
It was Phantom Pain with low gravity.
There's even the
Uh,
whale outside. I was like, "Where's the man on fire?"
yeah, but, yeah, that was a fun arena. I talked about it on stream last night, and I mentioned to you that, but, like, I had upped the difficulty because I was like, "You know what? I wanna turn up the difficulty to hard because I want the brigands and the robot enemies to be a little more challenging." Because so far, like, I mainly for their like, I wanna increase their awareness, I suppose, and not necessarily else. I just want, or, like, their aggressive nature and whatnot. Like, I want that to be increased. But I was always like, I hope it doesn't make like the BT bosses too spongy. And then like I was doing a long trip, which is like the mission you do right before that boss fight I was talking about. And I went through this zone that I forgot was the BT zone because there's like not that many BT zones in this game. I know someone else was pointing it out. I'm like, yeah, that is true. There aren't that many BT areas. They must have like toned it down because of
And they're not always in the rainy areas. I feel like in the first game, if it was raining, there were BTs, and sometimes there will be timefall, but no BTs. So
yeah.
that's weird.
Now it's like the BTs and then it goes to get that red haze everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, BT zone. But now I do feel like there's definitely more enemy outposts I noticed. So there's more human enemies this go around.
Mhm.
Which
Is
are
that good or bad? Because I could see that actually being a negative thing for people that like the BTs.
I don't know. Like if the problem is I played the first one in like huge chunks of time each session, right? In this one I'm playing like only a couple of hours each goes, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending because I play it on stream. I play it off stream as well. But like so it's a different experience. So maybe it could have been, I don't know. I feel like the BTs was the main thing in the first game. So it's like there's a lot of BT zones in that first section. In the main world, I felt like there was a lot of BT areas. You were going to BT zones more often, I felt like, to do missions. And yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily good or bad. I do like infiltrating like the brigand areas and sneaking up and taking them out, very Metal Gear style. But yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad. But anyways, I was driving along and I guess I was in an area. I got in a fight with the giant crab hand thing, and sure enough, yeah, it was just, like, super spongy. I was like, "God damn it, I wish I had, like, the more customization of the difficulty, for this," and that kinda bugged me. I'm like, "I'm probably gonna have to drop the difficulty down just so I don't have that sponginess." But the enemy ate me, and then he gave me a thumbs up, and then there was a void out. I was like, "You motherfucker." I was like, "Whoop, there's my first." I didn't like, I never died to BTs in the first game. I never died in the first game in general. And so then I played that one on hard. And this one I got killed by the BT. And then I'm like, well, I got a void out crater just over here on the side of the map. I was like, all right. Which is fun. I'm like, okay. And then I continued the mission. But
All of the large BTs that summon the big tar pits, they all have a single kill mechanic, and it
yeah, he
is
that
really unfortunate.
yeah, I was wondering like where it came from too, because I was like, there was no like BT warning heads up. It was like I was driving, and then I think there might have been a little bit, and then suddenly it was like, oh, there's just tar everywhere. I'm like, did a BT see me? Because I didn't hear like the slam of the hands like trying to chase me down like they normally do in like the little BT areas. Like I think it was like I don't know, must have been like just, yo, this is the hands territory. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. And I got out of my truck. And the worst part of the void out is it damaged everything. All my containers are destroyed and the inventory in the containers are at 50% HP. I was like, okay, I have to be so careful because I'm basically halfway to my destination. I don't want to have to restart the mission. I was like, but it was nice because
We
I was able to
had
rebuild some roads.
Oh, yeah, we had a because Michael did the same thing where he upped the difficulty to hard or brutal or whatever it is, and suddenly, anytime we were in Timefall, everything disintegrated within, like, a minute, and we were
Mhm.
like, this coupled with the fact that the big BTs are very spongy now, like, you could take 20 guns into the fight and you end up with 3 because by the time you get to them, they've just disintegrated.
Yeah, you're just spamming, "Hey,
Yeah.
I need help. My name's Sam." And, like, throwing you blood grenades. You're like, "I need better weapons than this." Like, it'd be fine if they had more, weak points for massive damage, but, like, I'm like, "I just don't want it to be spongy, man." Like, it's just and then it becomes not fun. But, like,
They
because that
kind of had that problem in the first game too, with the human bosses being spongy.
I mean,
The
I
like
don't mind
military scenes where you went back in time in the first, not back in time, but like the
in the
military
beaches, yeah.
bosses in the beaches were so freaking spongy in the first game.
I didn't mind that though because they get stun locked. So at least like it's like an Souls game where you can just go at them and it's like and they just get stun locked so they can't attack. So like once you start shooting Mads or any of the skeletons, like you just kind of get stunned because they're fucking getting shot. So it's like okay, put a bunch of bullets into them, then they die. It's like sure, maybe I spend 30 rounds of a machine gun or something taking them out, but it's like that's fine. There's so many guns are plentiful, or I go through like 6 to 8 rounds of the shotgun. Like I didn't mind that because at least I can stun lock and take them out. Now it's like okay, use this, get rid of the inventory, keep going. Whereas like with the BTs, like the big bosses, they don't get stunned. So I'm like, I'm just shooting them, and it's like, okay, this is just now this isn't fun. So, but because like at least that first one that you fight, the first BT you fight, which is the head one from the trailer in the prologue area, like that's like wasn't that bad? Like even uh, I think it had a weak spot, like its mouth or something at least. Like you throw the grenades are pretty strong. I guess like if they scaled the damage of the weapons, because I felt like the shotgun on the second boss fight you do, which is not a BT, I felt like the shotguns were super strong, but it also had weak points, and I thought that made that fight better. Because now I'm like, okay, I'm not just shooting at whatever I can see, which is like with the BTs. I'm aiming for the weak spots, and it makes it more dynamic. I felt like it's like, oh, all the ones on the left are gone. I got to get all the ones on the right. So now my positioning matters. Whereas in the BTs, I'm just like, okay, shoot, shoot. It went underground. Wait for it to pop up. Dodge, jump, dip, dive, dodge, all that stuff. But yeah, so I think I might turn it down just because the BT fight. Now, obviously, that BT fight was optional. I didn't have to do it. It wasn't like a story BT one versus the prologue one. So maybe the story ones are going to be a little more tailored properly. I don't know, but I wonder if it's no, because when you change difficulty, it reloads the save, so you can't like change on the fly. Because then it'd be fun if I could just like, oh, I'm in that BT with a big, giant hand or whatever. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna drop it real quick to normal, kill it, bump it back up. It's like if I drop it, it's gonna reset the game. I'm like, nah, like that's annoying. But
Yeah, you'd have to like
yeah,
do a save outside, change it, reload, beat it,
yeah.
do it again.
Yeah, other than that though, like it still having fun, just building roads. It's fun. I love just like in the first one, like seeing who's contributed materials to a thing. Um, Getting likes anytime it like I'm playing. It's like someone used your road, someone used the road you rebuilt, someone used like getting those notifications is so fun. Seeing it's like oh your strand link with someone increased. I'm like I guess that means either I used more of their items or they used more of my stuff. But I've been deleting some things off the map because I'm like, I don't want your stuff here. Like all those fast travel points, I'm like, I don't want these. Get these out of here. No, like get rid of them. I hate that. The one thing that I wish it would do is like if you see something, say something. No, if you see something,
If you
you
see something, Jesus
if you
Christ.
if you see something, it doesn't show up on the map until you've got within a certain proximity of it. It's like I saw a fast travel point. I'm like, oh, I want to delete that, and I open up my map, and I'm like, I don't physically see it. Or like I saw the reconstruction road pillar in the distance, the paver, and I'm like, I can't see how much materials it needs. I had to physically get closer to it, and then it populates on the world map, which is a little annoying. I was like, okay, because I wanted to see like because there was one where I was trying to figure out how these roads went around this one area. I was like, okay, where are the pavers? I'm like, but I couldn't see them, so I couldn't see like how much materials do I need to bring, even though I was already maxed out for where I was repairing anyways. But it's like I couldn't see like, oh, maybe if one needed a little bit, I could stop at the place right before it, pick up some materials from these guys, and then go over here and do whatever. Or look for they don't have a lot of materials at this place because they're only 1 star. Let's pick up some packages specifically for them, make them 2 stars so they get more mats and everything. But yeah, it's it's also interesting like running across. I came across a prepper place, but because I came across it just naturally, I couldn't interact with it because I had no deliveries. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I just like found someone's place not connected on the chiral network, but I can't do anything because I don't have a mission to connect them.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird. I don't remember ever like I never did that in the first one. It's like I always went like, oh, Mountain Knot City, let's go to where it wants me to go. They tell me where to go next. It's always telling me where to go. And I was just going from to one side of the map to another. And it's like, oh, here's someone's random ass house. Okay. I'll I'll come back to you later. I guess you want pizza. I don't know. But because they're close to the pizza chef. But yeah, it's a fun game. Beautiful game. And yeah, those I do miss the Mads like war torn beaches. I like those aesthetically. I thought those are super cool. Especially that World War One trench section was just so dope. But
Dude, I I've been watching you play it sometimes, and I'm like the tonal change with some of the boss fights in the second game is fucking absurd.
like which ones specifically?
Oh, like I watched you play the introduction of the Red Samurai fight.
Oh, when he first shows up, when it's in the prologue.
Oh no, maybe it wasn't in the prologue.
Oh, later when he fights.
I saw the Red Samurai fight that you were doing, and I was just like, this is just absurd. This fight is absolutely wild and absurd.
The choreography on that is so cool.
Well, when he's fighting Higgs, like it was going
Oh,
on.
it's so cool. I watched it. I went on YouTube and watched it like multiple times just because it's like it's captured so well.
Yeah.
It's just really
good.
funny because it's like, Jesus Christ, this is such a random thing.
Yeah, and then he disappeared. He cuts off his legs and his hand. It's like, oh, he's Revolver Ocelot. It's the ninja. I get that reference, but yeah, I like how they have those swords you can get, because I remember like fighting the robots when I was looking for the one tomorrow, and when she went off, and it's like you fight the robots and you get that blade and you just do a melee. It's like, this is fun. Can't probably use it on the human characters, but I like doing this. I like that they seem like have a nice diverse. Well, I shouldn't say diversity of weapons because they're all guns, but like different types of guns. I feel like is fun. I don't remember, at least at this point of the game in the first one, I feel like you didn't have quite as many variations. But yeah, it's fun just going around. I need to collect more animals and take them to the sanctuary. I saw one of those golden squids. I was like, oh my god, it's a crystal lizard, because I ran it over with my truck and then it like popped up a bunch of Kyber hands. I was like, oh hell yeah.
That's exactly what they are. They're little crystal slimes.
Yeah. Because I saw one before it ran away. I was like, that's weird. The thing just ran away. But I didn't realize it was gold at the time. And then this one, I was like, I'm gonna take you down. But I always say too, when I'm driving along at night and it's like it starts raining, and when it rains, that's when like the slime spiders come out, and I'm like, God, stop it, go away. And I'm like, now I gotta change how I drive. And like then they aggroed me at one point. I'm like, I didn't even run over any of you guys.
They just like zap your car.
Yeah, they drain your battery. I'm like,
it.
no. Yeah, like anytime I see the little squids, I'm like, okay, whatever. But with the spiders, I'm like, oh man, you guys are gonna drain my battery. But I like how there's like the electro cryptobites or whatever you can pick up to recharge your battery. That's so funny. It's like, all right, eat these. Battery gets recharged. But
because science, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Science. Kojima science. But yeah, it's a fun game. I feel like they make you rest a lot more in between missions. Like they always tell you to go back to Magellan to rest, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But
Pretzel's always like, you look tired. You should go rest. Michael's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. He's fine. He doesn't need to shower. He's fine.
You don't need
He's,
to.
like, burnt.
Yeah. Whenever they hit you with the we got tar in the engines, we can't go anywhere. It's like, all right, I'll walk. I don't care. Like I don't need a fast traveler everywhere. But yeah, fun game. Good times. Forward to playing some more. All right. Well, that'll go ahead and do it for this episode then. Just trying to see if there's any more anything else that I missed, but there was nothing. All right. So thank all for tuning in. Listen. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Zach, for joining.
Yep.
We'll see you all next time.
Bye.